What's up, guys? Stacey Black comes into the streamer. About this later, we'll get the volume and all that straight here in just a second. 4 minutes. Actually, we'll go ahead and do this for a minute.
Right now, he's all tight.
Maybe he's cold.
You're gonna kill him. Okay.
Yeah. We will see what this offense looks like early on. I think they want to get feeling in a better rhythm as early as possible.
I think he's just cold.
He might be cold. A little chilly there. It's a little chilly here. It's Saturday. Time to represent your school. Show us how big you're going today. Submit your best fan video this weekend to hashtag Show Your Saturday. You might just get your 15 seconds of fan fame. Smokey with a 360 cam. He's showing us that.
You have fun with my 3 pups.
I know. Yeah, Tim, you should try to get that arranged. A little play date for you guys.
No problem.
All right, let's pick some of these games. And I want to begin with Texas A&M and Ole Miss, the only ranked versus ranked game in the SEC this week. Paul, you start us off on this one. Who are you taking?
This was difficult, but I'll leave the explanation to my colleagues, but I'm going Aggies in this game.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm going Texas A&M because of the health and concerns of Ole Miss's offense. They have a lot of guys missing, especially on the outside. Matt Corral's beat up right now, and Texas A&M's defense is playing lights out. They will win because of him, and also the ability for them to be able to run the ball versus Ole Miss's defense.
Roman, I agree with you. I think if Ole Miss is healthy, I'm probably picking Ole Miss in this game.
I agree.
Matt Corral not being fully healthy, not having a lot of his weapons,
Right.
and honestly, us not really knowing the injury situation the whole year.
Right.
It's a
Every guy that comes up
who's
every
playing,
week.
who's not playing, and also the running game of A&M. Ole Miss hasn't been able to stop the run. A&M's going to be able to pound it. I think they win a close one.
All right, it's time to pick this game right here. Who do these guys take? Number 1, Georgia coming to town in Tennessee. They'll have to deal with a raucous crowd at Neyland. We're going to start with Tim on this one. Who are you taking, Tim?
Listen, I love what Tennessee's doing. I know they're going to be going crazy with Rocky Top. They might even get some big plays in this game. Georgia's a better team. Georgia's going to get the dub.
All right, go over to the Georgia side.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's okay. They're going to score 21
He was Georgia all day.
I know he was. Yeah, he's got the Georgia outfit. Here's the reality. These guys have been all in the same picks this entire day. It's kind of weird. So let's see what Paul. Let him hear it.
I can't tell you how much I want to pick
Brought to
Tennessee.
you by Regions. Go ahead, Paul.
I'm gonna ride the clock out so I don't have to make this call.
It's your school, Paul.
I love you guys. On Monday, I'm coming here and picking Tennessee to beat the number 1 team in the country, but it's not today.
Oh, it was so close, you guys. All right, huge thank you to our crowd here in Knoxville. It's been so much fun, and special thank you to our veterans. We appreciate you guys so much. See you tomorrow. Actually, next week on Nation.
Mute. Amen.
Saturday, as the number 2 Crimson Tide welcomes the New Mexico State Aggies. Just a moment ago, Alyssa Lang with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Nick Saban.
You talked to us yesterday about playing more consistently. What does that look like for you today?
I think the players have to challenge themselves too. You know, you got a faceless opponent. There's an identity that you want to create as a player that creates value for you, and you know, a lot of those things sort of make you a champion or don't make you a champion as a player. So it's not about who we're playing. It's about who you are as a player and how you want to go out and play.
You talked to us a little bit about pass protection, your offensive line, and Bryce Young. What do you want to see from them today?
Well, I think we got to do a better job of protecting the quarterback. I think we also have to do a better job of creating balance in the run game and be able to run the ball effectively so we don't get in as many long yardage, drop back pass kind of situations.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. With the College Football Hall of Famer Matt Stinchcomb, I'm Taylor Zarzer at field level. Specifically today, Stinch, I know you want to see that offensive line play better and protect those running backs.
Yeah, there's been some reshuffling, so the pre-snap awareness of what it is that you want to do is important right now. You look at some of the pressures that they gave up a week ago versus LSU, the 4 sacks. New quarterback hurries, they need to have an awareness of what it is they're supposed to do before they go about trying to execute it, especially especially when you kind of reshuffle the pieces that you're using along that offensive front.
Good news for Alabama today. They don't have to block Will Anderson. He's one of the best players in the country for the Crimson Tide. Leads the nation with tackles for loss.
Yeah, just remarkable. Not just the sacks, right? The 10.5 sacks. What about the 21 tackles for loss? The fact that he strikes and plays the run game so well, he's a complete football player.
50 degrees here. It is warmed up. It's in the 30s this morning to about 52, 53 by the middle of the afternoon. A little bit of wind. Not too much humidity. Okay, let's look to the keys to the game today, Stench. Brought to you by Barbecue Guys.
Well, these are going to be Alabama-centric, and part of it's just a function of what they've seen here in the second half of the season and last week. Obviously, run the football and clean up pass protection, something that Coach Saban talked about. But the other thing that he mentioned, this was going into the LSU game, is dial in the deep ball. They did big shots, there's no doubt. But to amplify that percentage, to have even greater success stretching the football downfield. The first two, but that's the third thing, though, that's that explosiveness that they want offensively.
Crazy what this guy's done. 15 seasons in Tuscaloosa, now at 70 years young. He'd go ahead of Matt Brown with the most wins of any active college football coach. With a victory today, that would be his 265th. New Mexico State will receive the kick. Juwan Price and Terrell Warner are back deep for Alabama. Will Riker putting his right foot into it. And it's a short kick. It's fielded at 11 and down goes Price. He was surprised by how short that kick went. And so New Mexico State will have to start inside their 15-yard line with Jonah Johnson, the quarterback, the junior from California, coming out to lead the Aggies, who have had a brutal year. 1-8 on the season, not in a conference. They will join Conference USA 2 years from now, but really have been a nomad throughout college football the last couple of years playing these types of games. They'll play Kentucky next week.
Yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to find a program that was more negatively impacted by COVID than New Mexico State. Weren't able to play football last season. A lot of transfers out.
Take a look at where 31 is on the field on just about every play. He's shaded over to the left side after a pickup of 3 as they throw it out of the backfield to Price. Jalen Armour-Davis on the tackle. It's just the second meeting for New Mexico State and for Alabama. Tide beat them 62-10 2 years ago here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama's unbelievable at home. They've won 59 of their last 61 here. They have the best all-time winning percentage at 83%. Johnson will throw a wide open receiver, and that's Andre Bodison, who got lost in the secondary. It's a pickup of 16.
Well, already, so you can see what New Mexico State is likely to do most of this game. Move the pocket, get the ball out quickly. Full play action fake and a half roll to his left. He sits right in front of the safety coming up and just beyond Malachi Moore. Lost in the coverage. That's a concern of Alabama that's had its moments in the secondary with big plays.
Pickup of 16. Justice Powers on the sweep doesn't get much. As 3 Bama defenders are in pursuit. Christian Harris on the tackle. We were talking about the Aggies, led by Doug Martin in his 9th season as the head coach. He took New Mexico State in 2017 to the Arizona Bowl. That was their first bowl bid in 57 years. But Stench, to your point, since then, just 7-28.
So difficult to establish consistency, especially when your team outside the conference environment.
It's a pickup of 1
Ball
on the left play. The Aggies again, 38. Johnson throws out of the backfield again, but it's dropped by Harity. And it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Aggies coming up.
On the swing passes. Get the ball out quickly as a quarterback. It's going to be difficult to establish any type of run game. You look at Alabama defensively. Dominant, really, versus the run. Haven't conceded more than 100 rushing yards since that Florida game until last week versus LSU, and they were just able to march north of the century mark. 3rd and long, a dangerous down, of course, versus this Crimson Tide defense.
There's Anderson. Watch out. He's down. He has more success than just about anybody in the game getting to the quarterback, and he was just about unblocked there. His 11th half sack on the season.
We're watching him in pregame warm-ups, and it's the get-off. He wins off his first step. That first step alone, and it's already over. There is no move. There's no chop or a swim or a spin. Not necessary. His get-off is remarkable, and he's able to do it out of that two-point stance. He'll put his hand in the dirt as well, but that guy is a game-changing type talent.
He has 18 and a half sacks in 22 college football games. It's crazy. JoJo Earl can't receive he's not able to field the punt, and they throw flags. Every official on the field makes sure that they had a flag and they threw it.
Yeah, it's like a participation trophy at the end of that one. Did you throw a flag or not on that?
You got to give JoJo a shot at it, and the Aggies didn't do it. As you see, Dylan Early. Mark Curlis is today's referee.
There is no foul for kick catch interference. And the fair response into the receiver. First down.
All right, so despite everybody throwing their flags, they picked them up. And Bryce Young, after the 43-yard punt, comes onto the field. The sophomore from Pasadena, California, 4th nationally in passing with 28 touchdowns. That's number 1 in the SEC. First 9 starts, Stinch, 1 more touchdown than Tua, who did have the record for most touchdowns in his first 9 starts. This guy has been outstanding.
Yeah, the coaching staff is universal in its praise of Bryson Young and the way he has played this year. The points that he has demonstrated, and under duress, as we mentioned last.
Werther's Original Classic Hard and Vanilla Creme Caramels. Discover the original fall flavor.
Swing it out to Slade Bolden, and Slade is up near the 38-yard line. Tackled by DJ McCullough to pick up a 13 for the junior from Louisiana. Let's see how much faster Bill O'Brien's offense goes today, Snitch. That was something he referenced yesterday in our meeting with him.
They're definitely going to be more intentional in their tempo today.
And it's a handoff to Robinson, and Robinson bangs ahead to the 42-yard line. Could not get anything going last week against LSU. Just 13 carries for 18 yards. He didn't have a run over 4 yards last week.
Yeah, it had to be frustrating for the offensive side of the football the way they ran it last week.
Another quick throw, and it's Mechie. And John doesn't get much. DJ McCullough right there with it.
And Jamison Williams has been a lightning rod for this offense, but one of the things where he has been somewhat deficient is blocking. He has not been as effective. It affected the run game, and it affected that play there. Was unable to keep Mechie clean as he made that reception.
Tied number 2 in America on third down conversions at 55%. It's a 3rd and 4. They need to get it past the 47-yard line. Young has all day. Swings it up to Robinson. And Alabama is going to punt. Chris Ojo.
What are you, New Mexico? Are you kidding me?
Wrap up Robinson there. 4th down.
You can see the Aggies a little bit
They'll have to punt.
there, showing those mugged up linebackers in the line of scrimmage. This is a really nice tackle in space versus Brian
good
Robinson.
defense
You got a man
on
to
their
beat,
part.
and another tackle.
They're
coming
1
on
and
down.
8.
That's a big stop for New Mexico State here to open this game.
James Burnham, the Australian
Good
freshman.
Lord.
It's a 39-yard average on the season. We'll punt it to Lawrence Dixon. Dixon gets away from it as it bounces at the 16, and it dies at the 19-yard line. A 37-yard punt, no score in T-Town early on a Saturday.
Mute. Thanks to everybody that comes in. Shout out to my sister Lisa for coming in. And anybody else. I got lucky. I thought I was going to have to work this evening, but the person working said they were going to stay, so I ain't got to go anywhere. Thank God. Not to work anyway. I think this game will be over by halftime, but we'll see what happens. Well, I hope everybody's having a good day out there. We got 3 likes. Y'all smash the like button. May not be that good of a stream. We are playing a crappy team.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. Save money like a champion with Allstate. And in part by Mercedes EQ.
These guys won national championships. Coach Bryant, Coach Stallings back in 1992. And Nick Saban has set a new standard in all of college football that we wonder if anyone will ever reach with those national championships, 6 of which he's won with the Crimson Tide now, 1 at LSU. Score almost 5 minutes into the game. Johnson on the run. And that grabs ball that's
damn near called it.
Jared Wyatt unable to make the catch as Josh Jobe was still fighting for the football within the second half.
Not a little pressure that time. Able to get Jonah Johnson off of his spot. Nearly got a completion downfield. A good job by Joe. Defending that pass and getting a breakup, getting between the receiver's hands and Jared Wyatt.
It's a run for the Aggies, and it's Jawan Price. Not able to get up to the 22-yard line. Stinch, what do you think of the Alabama defense as the season has gone on and they had to replace so many players that got drafted off of their secondary that won the title last year?
Yeah, the secondary was very concerning when people talked about that. But they knew that they were going to have some work to do. That's certainly been the area where they exceeded the big plays. Guys confused in coverage at times. The front 7, Will Anderson, obviously a household name. I feel as if they've been underestimated, undervalued maybe over the course of the year.
Anderson's at the bottom of your screen. He's blocked up on the 3rd and 8. Wide open.
Oh my goodness.
The 44 is Cole Harity. And again, an open space in the secondary for an Aggie receiver to make a first down catch. This is 20 yards.
And once again, just getting lost in the coverage. Jalen Armour-Davis was underneath it. Jordan Battle was the safety over the top to that side of the field. And an explosive play for the Aggie offense. We just got done talking about the secondary, where that's been the issue. Not physical errors, but mental.
To Omari Samuels, Johnson rolls out and throws out of the backfield to Thomas Whitford, the big tight end from Rhode Island, picks up 5 more. And Coach Golden was saying that overall, he really likes the execution and the consistent performance from the defense, but there's 1 or 2 catastrophic mistakes during the game that have cost him see Texas A&M, see Florida. 2nd and 5. Try the other side, and it's Harity again. Another first down for the Aggies into Alabama territory.
That time a good job by Jody Johnson. So they brought the slot pressure. A little bit of perimeter pressure from the edge. Jordan Battle spinning down into the coverage, but not before they were able to make that completion and convert the sticks.
What is this? Oh, I see. How do they have their video monetized? Are you kidding me?
Another thing that Coach Golding was talking about was leadership. He said he's seen more
Wow.
of it as the season has gone on. Certainly Will Anderson, with the way he plays, is a leader. Christian Harris is turning into one. Henry To'oTo'o is not the most vocal of guys at Mike linebacker, but that's something that needs to develop if Alabama is going to have a chance to get back to the college football playoff at the end of the 2021 season. 2nd and 10 for the Aggies as the Tide fans had another sip of coffee and they're awake suddenly.
Oh, you
Right
went
at the
over.
line of scrimmage.
Flag.
It's Byron Young lassoing Price, but a flag comes in.
At first, the way he kind of spun around, it looked almost like, you typically see that with a face mask. I think he got his horse collar on.
Personal foul, face mask on the 47 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Watch him just kind of reach out and grab him, and I don't know. I didn't see his head spin around at all. I don't think he got his face mask.
Oh, what?
He did.
Yeah,
He got
I
the front
did.
of his
Little
jersey
bit, I think.
and just kind of spun him around.
Oh, my
That's a miss because it looked like he got the face mask. I didn't see his hand make contact with the face mask at all.
It's the second straight week Alabama's gotten a flag for something they didn't do. Jordan Battle got a horse collar penalty against LSU last week. Now suddenly the Aggies inside the 30.
Oh!
Johnson, and that was destined to fail. As Malachi Moore came up to make the tackle. It's a loss. 2nd down.
Nice trigger that time by Malachi Moore. Quick diagnosis.
That's what we're talking about.
Grass to cover. He triggers quickly. As the ball arrives, you hear that stick. Personal foul though, so you get the pass downfield, and you pick up a first down and a half on a phantom face mask.
Loss of 3. 2nd and 13. Johnson's in trouble.
Get him.
Takes off, and he's down near the 26-yard line where To'oTo'o was waiting for him. It'll be 3rd down.
Come on, defense. Step it up.
That's an ideal. We've already seen it. So 3rd and long earlier. Mexico State incapable of holding up in protection. Will Anderson being the culprit. The 31 at the bottom of the line of scrimmage, working against the right side of that New Mexico State offensive front.
Johnson.
That was nasty. That's more like it.
Draw your attention to the bottom of the screen. Bottom of the line is coming to Will Anderson Jr. But you can't forget about the top of the screen. Henry To'oTo'o comes clean off the edge. You had him protecting back to that side, a bust in the protection because they had the numbers to pick up that side of the pressure. They didn't. That's like a catastrophic play. Could have been a sack strip fumble.
Well, this is a 50-yard attempt. For Ethan Alverson, it would be a career long, and it's right down
They
the
got it. Well, damn.
The sophomore from San Diego puts the Aggies on the board first with 5:35 to go in the first quarter.
So New Mexico State coming in here, had a game plan. They didn't seem too intimidated offensively. The defense got stopped. The offense is able to capitalize.
Hell of a kick.
Got a big play. Got a little help with a personal foul. And the Aggies up early.
Wow.
Number 2 Alabama.
We're losing. That won't last, hopefully. That's all the damn points they're getting. Hope they enjoy their field goal.
Shall we? How about Auburn taking on Mississippi State? Tank Bigsby finds his way into the end zone. Good first drive from Bo Nix. Auburn strikes first, and then Florida and Samford. Not what you would have expected, but Samford goes 13 plays, 75 yards, and strikes first at the Swamp. It is 7-0, but Florida is inside the 10. Wow, how about that? Samford with an early lead on the Gators.
What does this person keep doing?
Of the 30-yard line. Cameron Latu with the fair catch there. And then the Crimson Tide will get started on offense. Some shuffling on the offensive line, Stinch. That's Damian George, who gets the start at right tackle today. You see Chris Owens just 2 spots to his right. Owens was the right tackle. He's now the center after Darian Downcourt hurt his ankle in that LSU game last week.
Yeah, the new face there and left guard as well with Javian Cohen. An injury to his wrist, forcing Tommy Brown into the starting spot.
3 new shuffling spots. Young looks back and has Robinson, and he's down just shy of midfield. 21 yards.
So give credit where credit's due.
Awesome.
Alton Jamison Williams early for his blocking that time. Did a pretty nice job of screening off the defender downfield so Brian Robinson can pick up an additional 6 or 7 yards.
Alabama wants to go fast, as they have it now at midfield. Young fakes for Robinson.
Oh, there we go. There we go. To the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Alabama. Roll Tide. They're tired of playing with them.
He had a 58-yarder last week against LSU. A 94-yarder against Miami to start the season. 81 against Southern Miss. That's for 50. It's a deep ball threat.
What'd you say? At 7 coming into this game, 6 of them for score, something like that. So we'll just glom on another one, number 8. That's something that Coach Saban wanted to see more of out of his offense. RPO look that time. Makes it easier on the front, easier on the quarterback.
Will Reichard makes it 7-3 in Alabama. Back on track on offense.
Anybody new to the channel, y'all be sure to subscribe.
Missouri by way of Ohio State. Feels at home in T-Town. What a season for Jamison Williams.
Mute that. They got that stupid music playing on it. All right. Commercials anyway.
Crimson Tide taking the lead over New Mexico State with 4:51 to go in the first quarter. On the 8th offensive play of the game for Alabama, Jamison Williams with a 50-yard touchdown catch from Bryce Young. For Nick Saban in his quick strike offense. Wants to see them go faster today and use more RPOs and play action. Check those boxes so far. Tell us about this RPO that led to a touchdown, Stinch.
Well, you know, gives a great influence on the defense. So watch the safety check up. And Jamison Williams, who's exchanged right at the line of scrimmage by the corner. He's expecting to have some type of help in the back end. A lot of eyes in that offensive backfield. So defensive coach, they talk about eye violations. Spaziani's over there going, guys, you can't get caught up in that offensive backfield on the fake. That could have easily been a handoff. Instead, Bryce Young pulls it. It's another big play. So he's one of his favorite targets of Jamison Williams.
New Mexico State went down the field on the Crimson Tide and ended up kicking a 50-yard field goal the last time. Johnson's under duress.
Catch it.
Will Anderson was in the backfield with him, but he gets it off to Tomas Whitford.
New Mexico's
He
going to do
makes the catch
something.
up at the 36-yard line. It's an 11-yard completion.
What the start for Joe Johnson in this game? Hit some shots downfield that time. Someone under duress, able to deliver a strike.
7 of 10 for 67 yards for the quarterback so far, and that ball goes to Price. And Price runs head-on into Tim Smith for a lost second down.
Tim Smith did a great job on that snap. Getting upfield up now, disrupting that run play.
Smith, the sophomore from Guilford, Florida. Getting a bunch of reps in the interior of Alabama's defensive line with DJ Dale. Johnson throws, and it's a short pass back near the original line of scrimmage where Warner makes the catch. It'll be 3rd and long after Joe makes the tackle.
The 3rd down now. What's so interesting about Will Anderson? He's a great edge rusher on that snap. He's in a 4-point stance. A 4-eye. That means he's lining up basically head up an offensive tackle. He's not trying to play on the edge. He's a guy that's just going to try to shock you and play the run. You got to be physical to do that. Now he gets to do something that's really good. Rush the passer.
Here he comes around the edge, and it's thrown out complete for nothing as Price makes the catch, but Moore is right there in coverage. 4th down for New Mexico State. And what's interesting about what you're saying about Will Anderson is
so much for
Golding
that.
said if we ask him to do that, or we ask him to drop back and play the linebacker position or more of a rover on the field, he's excited to do whatever we ask him to. Most of the time you say, I'm not sure I can do that. This guy says yes to everything you ask him to do.
He's capable of doing it too. There's guys maybe that might have the willingness but not the ability to execute on it. But you're asking a guy who's about 250 pounds to line up, head up an offensive tackle and play right down the middle of it.
Carlson with another punt. This is a beauty. JoJo Earl fields it at the 14-yard line. He's
Idiot.
wrapped up right there.
Should have fair catch
It was
that.
a 49-yard punt. And Earl losing a couple of yards on the return, and he's not off the ground yet. We'll check on him in just a second. Tonight, SEC football final. As you covered with the biggest stories of the day and breakdowns of the games. Dari Noka hosts along with Gene Chizik, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. It's at 10:30 Eastern after Arkansas and LSU right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. On JoJo Earl, the freshman from Texas.
They have wondered it fumble it.
To see what exactly happened to Earl, but he is still down on the field.
On his lower left leg, it looks like. I don't know if when he spun or when he kind of got spun down there, caused him to tweak something. He's kicking that right leg in pain, though, for sure. They're working on the left side.
Dylan Zolezi is the one that hit him for New Mexico State. JoJo's one of those true freshmen that Alabama wants to depend on in the future is not putting any pressure on that right leg. Maybe just when he planted Stinch, must have injured something.
In some ways, it's a little reminiscent of the injury to Haynes King, the quarterback for Texas A&M earlier this year. Kind of got spun around on that left leg while it was
the left
planted.
one, yeah, you're right.
You know, it looked like it torqued a little bit, like his cleats caught the turf as he was getting spun. Definitely no weight being put on that leg at all.
Alabama at the 14, an option toss to Robinson. Ryan gets around the edge, and that's more like what we've seen.
If he would have called the fair catch, he could have avoided all of
There's
that.
a pickup of 17 yards for the fifth-year senior from right here in Tuscaloosa.
I'll take a little away from the offensive front, but that's perimeter blocking that makes that play go. And once again, Jameson Williams, pretty good job blocking on the edge.
Aww. I swear, I'm about to find another person doing this.
Is picking it up off the ground is DJ McCollum.
They miss something every damn time that happens.
That ball looked like it popped out.
Oh, what the hell happened?
Wasn't even really arguing it.
Ruling on the field of the runner knocked down and fumble is under further review.
He is down.
You know, he had his left hand down.
He was down. Shut up.
Which you can have that left hand down and still be an active ball carrier.
He's down.
It did not look like his left knee made contact, like he was on top of the defender.
I suppose. But therefore, he should be down
It
because
looks
that
like this is
person's
the
down.
look.
I'm saying he's down. I don't give a crap what
Well,
you
there's
say.
the elbow.
He's down.
But was the ball
already
moving?
coming out?
Yeah.
I say he was down. We'll see what they say.
Tough to overturn that, but that's the sophomore from Florida ruled a fumble on the field and would give New Mexico State the ball at the Alabama 20.
Good job by Chris Ojo coming up there. Is that elbow down before the ball starts to come out? I thought his elbow clearly down.
He's laying on the ground.
Is
What the
ball
hell more do
coming
you
out?
want? Down. God. That make crap
Good
too
job by
complicated.
Ojo. It looks like his right knee bounced that ball out.
After further review, the runner's elbow was down with the ball from his possession. Second down and 13 at the 31-yard line.
There we
I
go.
think they got it right here. I mean, this was, Mechie's out there blocking. Ojo did a great job of fighting through that block, but it looked to me like Holden's right knee bounced that ball out of his possession, but only after his left elbow was down. You piece those two looks together.
That's the way I saw it too, and it was very close. The ball starts moving right after that elbow hits the ground, but Trayshawn Holden can breathe a sigh of relief. It was a loss of 2, though, as Alabama will have it at their own 31. Young in an empty backfield. Throws wide.
There we go.
The 45 is Mechie.
Nice pickup in protection, clean pocket. Young's able to hit one of his favorite targets in Mechie.
63 catches on the year from Mechie. Jameson Williams is one of those other favorites, and he's inside the 30, down to the 26, as you see JoJo Earl heading to the locker room after being injured on the punt.
Right now, Alabama just moving the line of scrimmage. Get quick throws to the perimeter and ask their receivers to block. That time to Corey Brooks.
Young has all day to take off and get himself up inside the 10, down near the 13. Unlike maybe at some other Alabama quarterbacks of the past, especially Jalen Hurts, Bryce doesn't like to do that very often. He likes to stay in there and go through his progressions. It's more of a last option for him.
Yeah, he's more of a scramble to throw versus a scramble to pick up yards as a rusher. That time, the protection was fine. You could have just pressed up and stayed, but you've got this huge rush lane. Wise to take advantage of it there.
Down to the New Mexico State 14, swings it out, gets it to Mechie, and after bobbling it, he'll only pick up a couple of yards to the 12-yard line, but still the tempo that Bill O'Brien's offense is running with here in the last couple of drives is something that was a huge point of emphasis for him today.
Yeah, and you look at it, it's a numbers game. You look out there, there's 2 over 2, 2 players over here, 2 receivers, one's playing off. The non-receiver, the intended receiver anyway, blocked for the other.
Bryce Young 9 for 9 to start the game here in the first quarter.
Touchdown, awesome.
Touchdown, Cameron Latu. Latu with his 6th touchdown catch of the season. Only 15 catches on the year, 6 of them for touchdowns. And Reichert makes it 14-3.
All right, 14-3.
It could have been a big fumble and given New Mexico State the ball at the Alabama 20-yard line. Instead, it's a 7-play drive for 86 yards in just over 2 minutes that culminates with that Young to Latu touchdown.
Alabama, don't air it out in the red zone. More than they typically have in the past, more than half, as you see. The holder over there going, man, thank goodness. There's enough time. And 1-2. That's a big target. 6'5", 250 pounds. The guy that has had a few issues with some drops, but love his skill set and what he brings to this offense. The red zone completion. Bryce Young, it's something that they do more than half of the time. They get in that scoring position inside the 20. 54% of it is going to be in the air. That time converts for a touchdown.
New Mexico State at the 25-yard line. Let's get another studio update from our friend Dari Noko.
All right, how about a couple of updates? Starting with Florida and Samford again, 7-7 game. Look at Samford. Liam Welch to the uncovered Michael Weiss. It's an attempted tackle. 14 all. Florida did just go down and tie the game. Big news here, guys. Nolan McCord, successful field goal for Mississippi State. They're down 7-3. No word on if Mike Leach will still hold tryouts.
I was wondering if you were going to announce someone that was just a simple student in Stark Vegas that was attempting field goals over on the other side of this state today. Up to the 25-yard line. As Young makes the tackle. Mike was dead serious, too, after that game against Arkansas, after all those missed field goals. They're looking for kickers over at Mississippi State. The Aggies have one. They made a 50-yard field goal in the first quarter from Ethan Albertson to start the scoring, but the Tide have 2 touchdowns and lead New Mexico State 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. Crimson Tide look.
Mute. Damn music. All right, commercials. I'll be back. commercials.
Start of the second quarter on a beautiful day here in Tuscaloosa. Temperatures in the low 50s for the Tide and the Aggies. Aggies down 14-3. Jonah Johnson throws a moon ball, and it's incomplete. Into double coverage, he was looking for Justice Powers, and Jordan battled with him. Third.
Johnson took a shot from Will Anderson. But not before he was able to get this punt off, because that ball bounced off the solar system, came back down. Jordan battled more than enough time to get back underneath it. However, Justice Powers had his hands on it, had a chance to come down with it.
That throw at hang time. Jonah's in trouble, and he goes down at the 26-yard line after a pickup of 1 as Christian Harris ran right with him. Force this 4th down. Harris really stepped up in recent weeks, made an outstanding open field tackle near the goal line against LSU last week to preserve that victory. That was too close for comfort last week for the Tide.
Yeah, they weren't pleased with it, that's for sure. I guess it depends on your perspective, right? LSU sitting there going, hey, how about us in a lame duck season? So being a one-possession win for the Tide and a hard-fought.
Slade Bolton is back, but it's blocked. Alabama gets it, and off the Karam. Here comes the Tide inside the 20. Jalen Moody is tackled at the 5.
This was a meet me at the punter block right here. I mean, it could have been any number of Crimson Tide special teamers that time. Well played in the air to take it back in. Well, which one of the Alabama members of the punt block team got that ball?
Oh, score. I missed it.
Setting up shot.
This person is killing me. Whoever is.
Was the first one that put his hand on it, and he's getting congratulations on the bench right now. And now Robinson straight ahead, just short. The 3rd and goal. Flag down.
Little chippy out there on the edge. There'd be a substitution penalty here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, an illegal substitution penalty on New Mexico State.
Substitution infraction, 12 players on the field on the defense. The penalties decline, result of the players 3rd down.
Instead of taking 2nd and goal from the just outside the 2, Coach Saban elects to decline the penalty and see if the offensive line can move some earth in front of Brian Robinson.
Oh, there we go. Touchdown.
Touchdown to Alabama.
Roll Tide.
The true freshman Robbie Oops came in there and lined up at fullback to help move some people in front of Robinson, but that 225-pound frame from Brian is the reason for the touchdown. And after a 3-0 New Mexico State lead, it's been all Crimson Tide since. Will Ruckert makes it 21-3 with 13:15 to go in the second quarter. Blocked punt by Christian Leary. It was picked up by Jalen Moody. Gave Alabama the ball at the 5. Brian Robinson did the rest.
Back to commercial. A couple more scores. This one will be over with.
SEC Network Football, presented by Allstate, is brought to you by new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Try the best combo ever today.
Beautiful day in Tuscaloosa's Crimson Tide's off to a 21-3 lead in the early parts of the second quarter. Good crowd on hand. They have one more home game next week against Arkansas before they will play Auburn 2 weeks from now. New Mexico State will get it at the 25. All yours, Dari. What's happening in the other games?
Guys, we've heard it once, we've heard it 1,000 times. Samford's offense is electric. It has been so far at the Swamp, guys. 209 first quarter yards against Florida. Liam Welch to Jay Stanton, 40 yards. Samford, 21 first quarter points, and they lead the Gators by a touchdown. What's going on, guys?
We saw it last week against South Carolina, Dar. The Florida defense has been an absolute disaster, and it continues again today after firing Todd Grantham. Jonah Johnson on an end around to Powers, and Powers doesn't get anything, maybe 1 yard. 2nd and 9 as Helms makes the tackle. Helms is slow to get up, too. Junior from Washington, D.C. Coach Saban would tell you, obviously, you want to win the game, you want to play to a high standard, but maybe just as important, Snitch, is coming.
No doubt. This is a concerning injury, if in fact it's something that will persist. Kind of hard to tell, even looking at it again. Marco Helms coming off.
Well, guys, one of the things that Pete Golding was telling us yesterday during meetings that I thought was interesting, obvious but interesting, is that they have to literally cover every crevice, every possibility, every single week. It doesn't matter that New Mexico State's not an SEC opponent. He said, when you're Alabama, you can't necessarily trust the tape that these teams have put up all season long, because when you're the Crimson Tide, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. So it's so much more preparation than maybe other teams when they've got an opponent like this coming in, because they know what they're going to see offensively is so creative. Some good adjustments they've made so far.
I know you're paying attention, Alyssa, to these injuries too. You told us that JoJo Earl is out for the game. JoJo Earl, rather, is out for the game after he was carted off. Now Helms hobbles off. Daniel Wright comes in for Helms. A 2nd and 9, and Johnson throws underneath. Dropped by Harity, with Toto running with it. 3rd down.
And a 3rd and long. Early on, they had pretty good successes. The first down plays, early down plays, see if you can't get it to 3rd and manageable. Every team in the country would have concern getting into a...
You're welcome, Lori Miller. Thank you for coming in. Anybody new, please subscribe to the channel.
The bottom of the line of scrimmage with number 31.
And shout out to Minnesota. Go Vikings. It's my favorite NFL team.
LeBron Ray finishes
Roll
it off.
Tide.
Dallas Turner had a shot at him. 4th down.
Yes.
That's twice now where we've seen it. At that time they gained Will Anderson, meaning he kind of pirated inside, stunned inside of the block of left tackle, and instead the pressure comes from the opposite side.
Hey, Second Baby Angel. Thank you so much for coming in. Much love.
Steve, you find number 31. It's not always enough. Eyes wide open. The punt's been an adventure.
We get this one off. Slade Bolden at the 42 after Earl went down. Bolden, the backup punt returner, is inside the 35-yard line. Pushed out at the 34. All Crimson Tide here in T-Town.
Oh, back to commercial. Damn! Thanks everybody coming in. Big shout out to Second Baby Angel, Lori Miller Robinson, and my sister Lisa Cook, Chris's Gaming YT. Thanks to everybody that is in here or came through. And that's a pretty cool commercial. Okay, shout out to the Philippines. Hey, Melindan, much love. Awesome. Got a lot of supporters from the Philippines. Awesome, awesome place. Awesome people. Y'all check out Second Baby Angel's channel. Another commercial. No.
Grandma Jammas, an institution in Tuscaloosa, right outside the stadium here in Tuscaloosa, owned by Michael and Gary Lewis. Breakfast sandwiches today, Cinch.
They had a help wanted sign on the door like everywhere else. Wow.
Got a little bacon, some cheese on here. Phenomenal. I feel like for every meal of the day, Grandma Jammas is outstanding. Alyssa, how is it there?
I got a nice bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. It's delicious. Grandma Jamma's is Grandma Jammin' on game day, too. Like, line out the door. Amazing. My first year.
I think they said if Phil Mathis's mom was in there, she was ordering up some food. She knows where it's at on game day. I feel bad for everybody else on the crew. There's just not enough to go around.
Young swings it out to Mechie, and he's inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. It's so hard to pick a spot. Growing up in this state, coming up here, going to college football games throughout my life, there's, of course, Waysider, which is where Coach Bryant used to go eat breakfast. Raymond James right outside the stadium, which does have tremendous milkshakes. We have to stop by there post-game, yeah, and maybe get a milkshake then.
We got time at halftime, maybe to hustle down there.
Young fakes to Roydell Williams, goes to the end zone.
Touchdown.
Touchdown for Jamison Williams.
Yep, this will be over at halftime. Definitely.
A 32-yarder for the junior, and I've always dreamed of making a touchdown call with a mouthful of bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, well, who didn't grow up doing it that way? That's going to hurt Jamison.
The announcers are eating.
Touchdown reception average.
I don't think I've ever seen that before, except for like on Thanksgiving or something.
Yes, so yeah, this is going to bring it way down.
We had a 58-yarder last week. We have a last-second substitution as Damian George gets onto the field. 28-3 tied. How about this start for Bryce Young, Stinch? 12 for 12, 175 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Pretty sporty. Off play action all the way. Something that Coach Saban said he wanted to see more of. Still got popped a little bit at the end of it. Jamison Williams literally waiting on this football in the end zone. Once again, Mexico State eyes in that backfield to check out. Receivers in behind him. Young hanging in there, didn't get a shot that time. Not like he did last week. See, celebrate these guys up front. We talked about it. Reconfigured offensive line. So there, Chris Owens was forced into service back into center. Finished last year at center, but has been playing at right tackle. It's not an easy thing to do. You know, the field, the responsibilities are totally different. And you could tell that last week. And I think it definitely impacted Alabama's offensive performance. Having Owens slide in there weren't always clean from an assignment standpoint. I don't know that they identified the defenses accurately. Was able to practice there all week, and I think it's shown so far.
New Mexico State will start at the 25. Let's get another studio update from Dari Noko.
Look, guys, what's happening at the Swamp is keeping us awfully busy right now. Just after that third Samford touchdown, Emory Jones on the keeper. He takes it in. Both teams right at around 200 yards of offense. There is no defense right now at the Swamp. 21-all is the score.
What do you make of that, Stitch, what the Gators have gone through defensively this season, and especially the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, you know, it's been a kind of a slow burn, and obviously you expect the transition to coordinator. More than concerning, this type of performance. Kudos to Samford, Chris Hatcher. Chris Hatcher can dial up some offensive plays. We've seen him step into this conference before, give teams all they want. Mississippi State, a couple of years ago, under Dan Mullen, got more than they wanted from Samford.
Dan Mullen's Gators, maybe their best performance of the year was a loss to Alabama in the Swamp, 31-29, but it has been down. They have headed south since then, especially on the defensive side. It's a first down catch made by Terrell Warner in front of Jalen Armour Davis up to the 39-yard line.
Nice play from Jonah Johnson. Standing in there with 2 defenders bearing down on him. And once again, able to deliver the ball well. You see that? Once again, pressure. Jonah Johnson, he's done a good job facing it down. You know, they got the ball out quicker to open up this game. Move the pocket some. That time, showing courage, looking right down the gun barrel.
Johnson steps into the throw, lofts it out there. And it's
Almost
It
intercepted.
was Daniel Wright who had his hands on it. Second down. Wright's in the game, of course, for DeMarco Hellams, who just got hurt on the last possession.
That was like a YMCA throw. It's just kind of a community ball. Who wants it? 3 Alabama defenders around him. Shocked that nobody came up with that catch, including an Aggie.
Man of the people, Matt Stinchcomb. Always giving shout outs to those great community organizations. 2nd and 10. Here's the toss to Price. Not getting much. Armour Davis, the junior from St. Paul's Episcopal School in Mobile, Alabama, on the tackle.
Is that in Mobile? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know where that was. Did not see that on the roster.
Might have a couple of grads here in the booth today.
Okay. Once again, just so challenging. Joey Johnson, talking about his ability to handle the pressure and at the same time, on these downs, we've seen it opposite of where Anderson is lined up, this time at the top of the line of scrimmage.
Johnson throws and it's incomplete. Alabama able to get pressure off the edge again. Dallas Turner, the true freshman from Fort Lauderdale, has really played well the last couple weeks. Had 2 sacks last week. He was in the backfield there.
You have to think, they end up getting a loss of pretty darn good edge rusher Chris Allen. Miami. That guy gets back in this lineup before the season's over. So now what do you do from a protection standpoint? Because if you got one guy on one edge, you slide it, maybe put a tight end over there, put a protecting back over there to help. But what about the other edge?
Just got a nasty email. Somebody's been reporting my streams on Alabama games, and whoever they are suck.
And he's tackled up near the 23-yard line. A 49-yard punt. Tied back on offense with a perfect Bryce Young.
Man. Stream unavailable. What are you kidding
Fuel
me?
your grind. The Gatorade's proven formula.
Well, that sucks. Well, guys, I guess we're going to end the stream because they have blocked my video. Thanks to everybody that just came in, though. Ew, that sucks. Oh, well. Too late, toilet water people. This game's over with anyway. So, dang, that sucks. May have to start doing this from another channel, guys. Especially if I get in trouble over this one. But big shout out to Second Baby Angel, Lori Miller Robinson, my sister Lisa Cook. Thanks to everybody that came in, and for my regular supporters, I may be live later, but more to come. Until then, y'all be safe out there. Keep your eyes, your ears open, and always keep it real. Love you guys, and I will see y'all later. Much love.